So like moving into the 33 house, it could have deleted a lot of fake people for you, like systematically just kind of cleared out a lot of people that were not ultimately good for you, and it exposes them, and it kind of protects you. Like 33 is a very protective number, but it protects you by like indicating individuals around you that are not very good for you and just systematically like deleting them. And often it does it very uncalled for ways, unless you like listen to like what's going on.
Yeah, that probably explains why I've deleted everybody from my life. Since I lived here, it's bliss. It's lovely. And,
Yeah.
so that's good. My relationship's fine, though. We've been together 25 years, although there's
Oh, that
lots
one.
of it
Yeah.
going.
33 is great for the marriage. 33 is wonderful for marriage.
Yeah,
It's
it's been good.
supreme.
Hey, beautiful soul. I'm Hayden Crawford, your host and soul guide here at the Dreamtime Academy, a cosmic mystery school for starseeds and truth seekers, just like you, who are looking at rediscovering your inner wisdom for a life of more freedom, joy, and purpose. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and click the bell for future notifications so that you never miss one of my podcast episodes of either the Numerology Show or Cosmic Conversations, or indeed some of my transmissions, which will help to activate the next layer of your spiritual awakening. I'm the author of the Starseed Ascension Guide and the Cosmic Family Oracle cards, both designed to help you to reconnect to your higher self and remember who you truly are. If you want to dive deeper, we have an online membership portal called the Oversoul Codex Collective, where you can join a like-minded group of starseeds from all across the planet as you delve into courses in numerology, colour therapy, and cosmic consciousness as well. You can also support this channel by becoming a member, either as a soul spark or a codex keeper. If you're feeling the call to join us together in person, then we also host consciousness expanding retreats in Perth, where you can really start to experience this incredibly immersive work within community environment. Once again, your support really helps this channel to grow. So thank you for joining this team of galactic lightworkers from all across the planet, helping to expand consciousness and bring light into the darkness. So welcome to the Numerology Show, where we explore the mystical power of numbers and their influence on our lives. I'm your host, Hayden Crawford, and today we've got a very special guest, Zapray. Now, Zapray is a trending numerology influencer on TikTok and on X, known for making complex numerology concepts accessible to thousands of followers. On his channel, he shares insights into life cycles, personal numbers, and symbolic patterns, helping people understand how numbers show up in personal growth, timing, and everyday life. His unique blend of practical guidance and intuitive wisdom has earned him a large and engaged online community. Now, today we're diving deep into the world of house numbers, personal year numbers, and the shadow aspects of life path numbers 3, 6, and 9, and probably a whole lot more as well as we go into some compound number formulas. We'll also be exploring which numbers Zapray believes is the most influential to start with when embarking on a numerology journey. So whether you're a seasoned numerology enthusiast or just beginning to explore the magic of numbers, this episode promises insights, practical guidance, and fascinating perspective. Let's welcome Zapray to the show. So how are
Thank
you
you for
today?
having me on. I'm doing great. This is a
Good.
great day. Wonderful day to do it. If you want to look at an 11 day, sure.
Yeah, I know the 2911. It follows me
Yeah.
everywhere. It's called
Yeah.
Grace Under Pressure in the color mirror system that I work with. So it does carry
Ooh.
quite a heavy energy, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it certainly does. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zapray, can you share how you first discovered numerology and what drew you so deeply into the study of numbers?
So it was 2019, and actually it might have been late 2018. Around then, I had just moved from Japan to the United States, and a bit of an ego death for a majority of reasons. I feel like everything kind of starts there. and I wanted to be more spiritual. I had started a spiritual journey in 2017, or maybe it was 2016, kind of like getting in the law of attraction, zodiac signs, like the typical everyday thing you would get into. And I wanted to see more, and I wanted to see synchronicities. I wanted to see, the universe indicate itself to me from an exterior perspective, confirming what I see inside. And I asked for synchronicities, and probably like maybe the same day or the day afterwards, I just started seeing numbers just spammed, like just 111, 222, 333, like every number that I had a connection with. If I thought it was a good number, I would just see it. And I would use Snapchat. Actually, I don't know if you've ever used Snapchat, but you can take a picture and it'll put your time there. I would just take pictures and have the time there and the time there to be like this constant thing. If I went through my January, February of 2019, it would be like just 30 pictures of numbers every day of just times and weird things, temperatures, and all these things that I felt a connection to. And I just had to figure out what it meant. And I got this app called Numerology and Tarot. That was the name of the app. It's actually created by a person from New Zealand. I don't know what their name is. I don't think they're active anymore, but they just had very base definitions of the numbers, and they had name numerology, which I'm really glad for, because going into mainstream numerology now, they don't really support name. But because my first introduction had name numerology, I figured out my base name numbers and my life path numbers. And then from that point on, I kind of just used math to figure out my own meanings after that. I didn't really read a book or do anything after that. I just used math, physics, and how the numbers show up in the real world, and just reading people. And then I kind of built my own system from that.
Wow. It's fascinating. So why do you think that, you were bombarded with all of those numbers when you put forth that clear request that you wanted some synchronicities? Like, why do you think that happens
Like, why do I think that happens to other people, or why do I think that happens to me?
for everyone, really? Like, why do we see these numbers and, like what causes them to appear like as if by magic in our awareness?
I think one, these numbers are not just suddenly appearing, but your focus and your ability to actually recognize that they're there is suddenly heightened. And because if I go right now, I have a relationship with the number 676. I like that number a lot. It's a really good number. I can go into it later, but it's a really good number. But I was taking a hike yesterday because I'm in Japan right now, in my hometown where I used to live. And I noticed that one of the buildings that is right before the hike has the number 676 on it. And it's like, it's always been there. It even has a date. It has February 2006, February 2006, 676 on top. So it's been there since 2006. I had nothing to do with it. And if you go back, and I feel like a lot of people, if you have a calendar of dates that have happened to you, you'll see that these synchronicities, these numbers have actually been showing up the entire time, but you're not able to recognize or become aware of them until a certain point. And then once you become aware, you feed into this giant conglomerate of energy, and you just get sucked in, and you're just constantly noticing it and noticing it. It's just increasing and increasing. And it's a law anyway. It's a law of observation. Once you start to observe something, it behaves differently, and you start to look at it. You start to look at the numbers, and then suddenly you're not just seeing them, by happenstance, every so often, occasionally, but you're going through a real spiritual awakening, and the numbers are actually trying to assist you by reflecting what's going on inside of you outwards, back in, and outward and back in, and over
I,
and over and
I
over.
love that. So it's the law of observation. So it's a consciousness thing, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
They're
100%. So
not external. They're here.
yeah, okay, brilliant. So was there a particular moment or experience where numerology like started to feel real to you or changed the way that you saw the world?
I think it was me. Like, the numbers at first were really confusing, and they were honestly sending me into psychosis. And I had no meanings. I would just look up like angel number, and I feel like that's a big psyop. But like, you look into angel number, you're like, oh, this is what it means. Your guides are saying this and all that. But when I actually found numerology, and it described me to a T, and it felt real. I think it was just immediate. It wasn't. Uh, there was no like backlash for me. It just was like the first thing that ever made sense, because I'm a four. Four is like a really hard pressed number to believe anything. So I'd automatically needed a lot of facts and proofs to undergo any type of belief. And when I discovered numerology, a system based off of logic and reason, and it made sense, I just ran with it immediately. It wasn't very hard.
When you say you're a four, you mean your life path is a four.
That's correct. I'm a 13. Yeah.
You're a 13. Oh, so oh, I've got a 16 as a karmic number as my day number.
Yeah.
It's an interesting vibration, the 13, because I always think that it's you someone who has to work really hard for the things that they get, but it's such a grounded and practical number.
Yeah.
It's like I normally don't attract fours into my life. It's I really like fours. I like them probably more than they like me. But
Yeah.
I do find that it takes a lot to break down a four to have a bit of a big awakening like you've had.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I there's like when I encounter sevens and fours, I feel like sevens and fours are the hardest to convince. I have to use a very specific, like if I'm just cold reading them, they're just on the street, whatever it is. I have to use a very specific formula to get to them before I like any other number. They're the hardest to like convince.
So what formula is that then?
Well, first you have to preface them on the fact that like automatic like I like before like I'll get their stuff and I'll immediately get a seven or I'll immediately get a four and I'll say okay, you're automatically very hard pressed to convince. You're an individual that requires major proofs for everything that you say. I know this so much that you will take at least five checks or balances before you say anything out of your mouth. There's if you do not believe it is 100% factual evidence, you will not even speak it. That's how dedicated you are to facts. So I'll immediately preface them with that it needs to be factual information. That'll usually like off guard them immediately because they're already willing to disagree with you from the get go. Most fours and sevens at least they're automatically want to disagree with you. So you need to first attack them or well I don't know like submit them however you want to do it, but like in the fact that they are already ready to do that and it kind of puts their guard down. And then you can go into more like aspects about it. You can go into things that have happened to them because of the number, like you being a 16, like 16 is the number of psychology. So like I'll be like, okay, you have a wonderful understanding of the human mind already. Like you've already done it. You've already understood people before they've even understood themselves, et cetera, et cetera. And then like, but you have to break them down first, like hit them
Yeah,
with that
100%.
before.
It's so interesting, isn't it? So my question to you then is, as a 13 four, do you feel like you have to work a lot harder than everybody else to achieve your financial and material goals?
Um, I would say I don't know if it even feels like hard work because I just chase like passion and I unintentionally like outwork the competition, but it doesn't feel like work. Now there are like things in my life that are difficult, but I don't think it's financially that it was necessarily the problem because I didn't grow up like poor. I've noticed a lot of 13s don't even grow up poor. And I think they struggle financially because they were given a lot of things younger, and I've seen that a lot with most 13s. So like I've had that difficulty with like kind of wanting to work, which is 13. Like I feel like a lot of things I didn't have to work so hard at because I was naturally talented at it. So the difficulty wasn't necessarily like actually generating abundance or generating financial thing. It was actually wanting to do it. And it was like harder for me to do things that I didn't want to do. I feel like 13 is a number that avoids discipline. It just avoids it from the get go because it cheats and it uses shortcuts as a child. You can see this like with David Goggins, for example. He's a 41, which is the 13th prime number. And if you read his book, I don't know if you've ever read David Goggins' book, but his whole like childhood is just him like taking shortcuts like every single chance he can get and being thoroughly punished for it. And I've seen a lot of 13s be punished for shortcuts. So I don't know if it's necessarily that they have to work extra hard. It's just that like they got to work extra hard to actually work as hard as other people are working, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
So for people that don't know who he is, could you just give a brief synopsis of his life?
Okay, David Goggins is a Navy SEAL as well as ultra marathon runner who wrote a book called Can't Hurt Me and another book called Never Finished. And he is a very well accomplished mental toughness person. If you like, he's like the poster child for mental toughness. But if you read his book, he was was abused as a child. He was reading it as like third grade level in high school. He was just very he was overweight, 300 pounds. He was a lot of these things, and he completely flipped his life around at age 24, actually, 1999, which is interesting. Just 24 is a just interesting number, but like he flips his whole life around and just goes on an entire path of discipline. But it takes him a very long time to actually undergo this the transformation. And a lot of 13s I've seen have this happen to them as well. Like even Kai Cenat, like if you're looking at Kai Cenat right now, the individual, most people on here are going to know who Kai Cenat is. But if he's going through an awakening right now where he's trying to gain a lot of discipline, like a supreme amount of discipline, he's life path 3113. It
Uh,
looks like it took him a while to like really go, and he's like posting videos right now, reading for 30 minutes a day, writing in my journal, blah blah blah. Like he's like really undergoing this stuff, and he's also in a 41 year right now, based off his life path. But just
Very good, very good. It's interesting that you observe, people so deeply, and you know exactly where they're at on, on their life path, and you see it reflected in their external experience. That's really, really cool. But how has numerology influenced your own personal life and your decision-making processes over the years?
it's I feel like one thing was being very misunderstood as a child, and the growth that I attained from actually getting access to the numbers and like their understanding helped me understand myself. And I feel like one thing that's really helpful for me is that I am constantly reading other people. And I feel like I'm sure you've noticed this, but like I feel like each reading of another person is reading yourself. There's like a reflection there where you're attaining something from the fact that this person has an issue, and there's some part of you that has this similar issue, and you're almost like channeling and gaining the exact insight into your own self through the assistance of other people. And it's just that's helped me a lot, that aspect, as well as understanding certain transits that I'm in. It's tough when there's an invisible guy beating you up and you don't know what the guy is. He's, you're getting beat up. It's really hard right now. I don't even know where they're coming from. They're attacking me from all angles, and you understand numerology, and you can kind of understand, okay, like it's this, and it really helps you rationalize and understand the struggles you're going through, what's happening to you. It helps you understand the people around you. Okay, like why are they behaving this way? Why is this happening? To the personal people in my life. Why am I, so heavy here? And then I also understand like remedies to certain numbers. So it's like, okay, like this is happening. I know if I do this, this is going to give me a remedy and really like assist me where this energy is like really hurting me. And I could go like on and on and on, but like these are like kind of the main things that I feel have
Yeah,
helped
of
me.
course. No, I appreciate you saying that. And it's interesting because you've already explained that you are a life path 13-4. What's your day number and what other influences do you specifically value and look at?
Do you mean like influences is in like what is in my chart, like what I value in my chart, or like transits wise, like personal years and et cetera of that
Oh, all of
nature?
it, really. I mean, I guess that for me, like personally, I will always look at, for me, I value the life path number and the day number,
Hmm.
and the personal year. I'll sometimes look at the maturity number as
Yeah,
well, and the soul urge number and outer expression, of course. But
yeah.
like the name, I know for Chaldean numerology, they'd shoot me for saying this because they focus on the name vibration more. So I, I don't, and I guess I wanted to see what your stance on it all is.
Well, I'll read the name a lot. Like honestly, like when I go up to do a reading for a chart, it's I find, okay, there's like two reasons why someone wants a reading. They have two issues. They either have a material issue or they have an emotional issue. And when it comes to like the numbers in your chart, um, I do like some numbers will either focus on time or they'll focus on a desire. And I feel like the desires are figured out from the actual numbers in the chart, and what's going to happen is figured out from the birthday. But when it comes to like the every number in your chart, I believe they're all enacting 100% influence. I don't think that there's any number that's being skirted to the side and is not as influential as the life path or as what I would call the mind plane. The day you're born, I call it the mind plane because I believe it rules like the mental facets of like what's going on inside of your head. But like I don't think that any number is more influential than another, because I'll look at individuals who have even the smallest 14, and 14 is a very interesting number because it'll usually, like 85% of the time, it'll give the individual divorced parents, like 85% of the time. So like even I'll find the smallest 14 in someone's soul's urge or their inner dreams, and I'll still clock that they have divorced parents. And it's like it's not, and it's showing me it's not that like, and there's like other aspects other than that, like one thing, but like it's showing me that there's no 100% influence. The number is just a story, and wherever it's placed in your chart is the story that you need to play out. And it's this, so they're all 100% influencing you, just like you have no most important body part. You don't have a most important body part. You're like, oh, my heart's the most important. Well, if I get rid of your brain, you're not functioning anymore. If I get rid of your skeleton, you're just a pile of meat and muscle. And like each number is comprising the numerical body of what you are. I think they all have influence. So the name is very influential. I think some people lose influence on names because they're not using compound numbers. They're not using like these triple digit numbers that you're really getting. Like I have a 185, 185, 95 expression. You know, I read people who have like 212, 113s. They've got these high level, high value digits in their names or their soul's urge or their inner dreams. And if you can't read them, sometimes it doesn't give you the same amount of value. But when you understand each compound number at like a very high level, it shows you that their story is interacting with the person as much as the life path is. If
Okay,
that
so
makes sense.
yeah, it does. So you're treating the whole thing holistically without sort of placing extra value on
No.
specific
Yeah.
numbers.
Nothing. They're
Okay,
all
then.
important.
So with that in mind, then, if you were to look at your own, sort of chart, what does it say about you?
What does it say about me? Well, so like my soul's urge, which is the vowels of my name for anyone who's not familiar, it's the vowels of your name calculated, all added up together, and your inner dreams is I think is more like an egoic number, is your consonants added up. My soul's urge and my inner dreams. My soul's urge is a one is a 68 65 over 38, and then my and I'll just preface, so like the reason I'm saying 65 over 38 for people who are not familiar with compound numbers, there's two there's two there's two ciphers. There's called the ordinal and the reduction cipher. Now, if you were to take the ordinal cipher, nothing is reduced. So S is the 19th letter. S is not reduced when it's in the ordinal cipher, and it's just added as 19. In the reduced cipher, you either make it 10 or you make it 1. So there's and M is the 13th. M is either 13 or it's 4. I know it's for you guys listening, visualizing might be hard, but like my vowels in my name equals 65, 38. My consonants are 120, 120, 57. So if I look at these, it shows, because I have an 11 as my soul's urge, 65, 38, it shows that I have a very high urge to educate people, just educate people, influence them, show their reflections, like really like delve into their psychology, delve into what's going on inside of them, therapy, use therapy with them, be very like therapeutic to people. And then if you look at my inner dreams, because it's a 3, it's I'm just gonna like just reduce it to 3. It's a very like be seen number. I want to be seen. I want to be creative. I want to do things that are very out there. I make music as well. 3 is a very musical number. And in when you go into like these two things connected, they show like, okay, I desire to heal, and I also desire to be seen. So that's why I'm making videos. I'm making content. I'm out there. I'm like putting myself out there. Then I have a 5. I have a 185, 95 is my expression, the whole thing. 5 is a number that's honestly pretty combative. It's a very combative number, especially 95. It's a very combative number. So I do these things in a very competitive way. I try to beat competition. I try to emulate other people as well. 5 is a number that emulates. Emulate starts with the 5th letter E. I try to emulate other people and take what they have and just use it to my advantage, and just copy and put my own spin on everything. And all these things are melding into one thing, as well as my four, which is I want to understand everything. Four is a number that just wants to break down everything and just learn every single thing about it. It doesn't want to have anything in its face that is just up for interpretation. It wants to completely delve into it, deconstruct it, reprogram it, and understand what are the mechanisms that make up the controller. So that's where I took numerology, and I just did that. And I'm born on the second. I'm born on the 2 day. So that's another aspect of why I want to heal people. I want to understand people. Two is a very reflective number. I just want to help other people reflect and reflect on myself. And I mean, there's a bunch more numbers in
Yeah,
the
no, that's
Bible.
great. No, I
Yeah,
love that. It's brilliant that you know yourself so well through your numbers and exploring them so deeply. It's very inspiring to listen to, and I love twos. Twos are so empathic as well. So, it
yeah,
gives you that opportunity to be able to sort of feel how other people feel as well,
yeah, for
and
sure.
actually take action. With your four, it's like
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
take action towards your goals, and that three, which helps you to stand up in the world and claim your spot. So yeah, it sounds like you're very much in alignment with what you're here to do. Now, I want
yeah.
to like sort of flip the narrative a little bit now, and I'd like to kind of explore house numbers because I saw on your
Go off.
TikTok channel that you're quite good with sort of decoding house numbers. So I find them fascinating. I live in a
Yes.
house number 33, and it's been the best house I've ever lived
Straight
in.
up 33. Like it's just straight
33.
up like the number 33. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I love it here. It's like the only house I've ever stayed in for a long period of time. And I just love being at home. I've become a bit of a home hermit actually, living in a
Mhm.
33. But can
Yeah.
you explain how the number of the home or the building, can affect the energy of those that are living there?
So it's like so imagine you're in a let's just imagine you're a pebble, all right, and you're a pebble that is affected by the water around you, and I drop you into a vase, and this vase has a very a similar a unique color to it, a unique vibration, a unique resonance that it has, and I drop you into it. This pebble is going to be enacted upon by whatever is around it. And this is kind of how the house number works. You are living inside of a home, you are living inside of a number. And another thing that isn't really spoken about too much, I haven't seen anyone really go into it, but not just the number of your house, but the day you move into the house is I found the this is like the life path of your house. I've read time off of this. I've seen people move based off of this. I've seen relationships end based off of the number it's going into. I've seen relationships improve. I've seen children indicated. I've seen lots of things just based off of that number as well. So I think you need to take that into account as well. But like with the house number, the reason it's affecting you as well as that number is because you're surrounding yourself with this and it is melding itself to you and you're just being influenced by it. Now, I mean, are you looking also for like a synopsis and like certain like house numbers as
Yeah,
well?
I'd like to know about 33, please. What do you know
Oh,
about the
oh,
house number
30.
33?
Well, so you when you moved into 33, you should have had a diet shift as well. So there should have been a diet shift from when you moved into 33. Like you should take the stomach very serious when you're in
A
33.
diet shift.
Yes, shift of the diet, what you put in the stomach. You might have had a diet shift when you moved into the 33 house, whether it was you stopped caring about what you ate or you started to actually like have to care, or you just took an ultimately disciplined mindset on what you were going to eat. It could have even been intentional, but 33 is a number like highly connected to the stomach. So I wouldn't be surprised like if you went into the 33 house and changed your diet.
I actually, yeah, I think I did as well. Like when I first moved here, I started going to the gym. I think I
Yeah.
lost about 16 kilos. So
What is
yeah.
that in pounds? I can't understand it.
Oh, I don't know what it is in pounds.
I think it's like one point. I think kilo is like 2.2 pounds or something like
It was
that.
a lot of weight anyway. Yeah. So
Yeah. It's a big weight change. But yeah, 33 is a number that it deals a lot with the stomach. 33 is also pretty intuitive, where like I would expect your intuition to increase from 33, like spiritually. Another thing with 33, um, it can destroy relationships as well. 33 is a number. It's like heavily connected to betrayal. So like moving it like 33 is naturally a kind of like a very neutral number, and it really bases itself off of whatever numbers are around it, whether it becomes malefic or benefic. So like moving into the 33 house, it could have deleted a lot of fake people for you. Like systematically just kind of cleared out a lot of people that were not ultimately good for you, and it exposes them, and it kind of protects you. Like 33 is a very protective number, but it protects you by like indicating individuals around you that are not very good for you and just systematically like deleting them. And often it does it very uncalled for ways, unless you like listen to like what's going on and kind
Yeah,
of just
that
make the
probably
decision
explains
on
why
your
I've
own.
deleted everybody from my life. Since I lived here, it's bliss. It's lovely. And
Yeah.
so that's good. My relationship's fine though. We've been together 25 years, although there's
Oh, that
lots
one.
of it
Yeah.
going.
33 is great for the marriage. 33 is wonderful for marriage.
Yeah,
It's
it's been good.
supreme.
It is. It's actually been really good. But so what's the most surprising or profound insight that you've uncovered when working with someone's house number?
I feel like with the house number itself, I don't really work with the house number as much. I'm really looking at that date, that move-in date. That move-in date is really like the bread and butter for what's going on inside of the house. Because with personal years, there's actually like four personal years going on at all times. There's your age number, there's the year added to your mind plane or the day you're born, there's the year added to the first pinnacle, which is the day in the month, and then there's the year added to your life path. And you can look at a house and what it's going through based off of that move-in date and enacting those numbers on it. So like the most important insights I've seen, I've seen like children be predicted. I see, okay, like it looks like you guys will be like very fertile this year, and three will indicate that. You'll see like a three. A three will usually indicate a child. And you'll see also five and a three combo will be like the best for a child. And then I've seen relationships like end because of it. I've seen like, okay, like this is indicating divorce. Like there's not very good just move in date. I've talked to people and say like, okay, like your parents when they moved into this house, that's when their relationship started to deteriorate, moving back, and then they moved into this house, the relationship went back up. I've seen things like that just based off of that date. That's why I specifically chose my date like very carefully. I wanted to make sure I had a very good date for my relationship, for my children, and things of that nature. But I've seen increases in money. I've seen decreases in finance. I've seen uh, I've seen very poor communication coming from all the house from the people in the house. That'll usually happen when people move in on a 22 day. When people they'll be very secular. All the people in the house will be very secular. They'll stay in their rooms. They won't go out. They'll be very closed off to each other. And I've seen lots of things. It's very hard to like answer that question specifically
Yeah. No, you're doing a
because
good
it's
job.
more like case by case.
No, you're doing
Yeah,
a good job. It's great. It's great to hear that there is, that you've got some really powerful examples there. So I guess my question to you then, Zapray, is like so you say the 22 is a good day to move into a house. Are there any other really good days for people to move into a
no,
house?
I wouldn't. I would not move in on 22.
Oh, you
I don't
wouldn't?
like 22. I mean, okay, no, I mean, okay, I would only move in on 22 day if like let's say I work from home and I don't like leaving the house. I just want to stay in the house, and maybe I have like I don't know, maybe I make claymation films at my house, and I just all I'd want to do is stay in the house, or maybe I'm like a an electrical engineer, and I'm like I just constantly like, tinker and make things in my basement. Like 22 is not a very good number if you want to leave the house. 22 is a very locked in number, so I wouldn't. It's very up to preference, but like I wouldn't personally, I would not want to move in on a 22 day. I wouldn't want to do that.
So what is
It
a
would
good
be
day then?
it's
What's a good day to
very
move in? Does it depend on your life path number?
yeah, it does, and also it depends on like what you want to happen. So like if you let's say like someone's like, oh, I'm going to become a real estate agent, I would move in on a 44 day. You're like, okay, I'm looking to have kids, like get in on some 12 day. Anything it's 12. Like I'm looking to have a wonderful relationship with my children. 12 is great for the house. 33 is also good for children as well. 33 is good for the marriage and good for children. Like three, like high three is good for any type of relationship.
Yeah,
If
well,
you're
there's
looking
been
to be
three
out of the
children
house,
born in this house that I live in.
okay,
Yeah,
nice.
before we moved in, because we had this house, we built it as a
Yeah,
rental and we had it rented out. And the people that lived here before us, um, there was two different couples, and I think there was three children like
yeah,
born. Um, I don't know if they're actually born in the house, but whilst the people were here.
Yeah, I'm sure they weren't at home. Maybe they were at home births. Who knows?
Yeah, and I actually think a lot of those couples end up separating as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
is
that's interesting as well, isn't it? Okay,
yeah.
so
33 is an interesting number.
it is an interest because I know you don't believe in master numbers, do you? So you don't look at 33 and go, "Oh, it's got the master number vibration,"
No, 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 no. Like,
Why
because
don't you believe in master numbers then? What is it about them that you don't believe in?
because no one who believes in master numbers can legitimately give me a reason why they're special. Like they can't give me they and let alone understand the actual number because like for 22 for example, I don't really like 22. It's a very harsh energy, and like I would never want a 22 in my chart. I would never want a 22 in my chart because when you see 22 in a chart, they can't talk. These people don't know how to talk. They don't have the external ability to voice their opinions or their desires or whatever they have going on in a conversation freely. Because 22 is a very locked in number. It rules the skull. The skull is comprised of 22 bones. They have trouble having thoughts leave the skull. Very good thinkers, very good thinkers, like crazy thinkers. You want like the best thinker ever, like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's a very good thinker, born on the 22nd. Not a good talker. Like not so good. You can look at 21 Savage. 21 Savage is a rapper in the US. You listen to him talk, not a very good talker, but if you listen to his written lyrics, very good. Logic is another example. Logic is a rapper. He's also born on the 22nd. Not a very good talker. You listen to him in interviews. You can go look up his interviews. He's not a very good talker, but he's a very good lyricist, very good at writing. 22s are very good at writing. But like, I just wouldn't want a 22 in my chart because a lot of my bread and butter is based off of external communication. 33 is a harsh number. It usually causes betrayal. Like an individual with a 33 in their chart will have a very heavy betrayal, very like a heavy like crucifixion happens to them where they get betrayed very heavily. And it ultimately creates a very good protector because the 33 is amazing at spotting individuals who are very like not to be trusted. 33 is an absolute crazy radar when it comes to people who cannot be trusted. And I've taken on the 33 vibration unintentionally because my name, Zapray, equals 33.
Hmm.
I didn't mean to do that. I got this when I was like 6 years old. It had nothing to do with anything. It was literally just a Zapray, like a gun, ray gun. Like that was what it meant when I first did it. But like 33 is it's a great number, but where it is publicly talked about as like the number of influence. 32 and 23 dog 33 in influence like any day of the week. So it's like it's not even the most influential number in its category that it's placed in. Not to say it's not a good number. All these numbers are great numbers, but I don't think that they are master over all the other numbers, which is how we place them as master numbers. Because when you understand compound numbers, you understand there's numbers like 29, there's 32, there's 37, 38, blah, 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 blah. It really removes the mystique from these 11, 22, and 33 because we're saying, oh, these are the only numbers that can't be reduced. That's just simply not true.
It's so
So
interesting. You should
yeah,
say that because I interviewed a lady called Jo Soley from Bizology in the UK on the very first episode of the Numerology show, and she was like, "You can't be a life path 33 on the planet at the moment," like that. And I just did a little short and I put it onto TikTok, and she had so many people going, "What does she mean? She doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm a 33 and I'm blah, 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 blah." So 33s would genuinely believe that they're special, and they'll like to take the accolades for it, but they don't like being told that they're not a master number. So I can imagine
no.
that, when you say things like that, I can imagine you get a lot of feedback
I
from.
used to, yeah, I used to, but I like with 23 and 32, I have a billion examples to show why they're more influential. And it's just the like I've just shown that. And like it's not to say like I can get attacked for it, but like I do a very good job of highlighting why 33 is special. Like 33 is a very special number. It's not that it's not special. Like 33 one thing that's very good about 33 is they inspire some of the most loyal people I have ever seen. Just like the people who are around the 33 will turn into like lapdogs almost. Like I've seen 30, because it's six is ruling over the heart. It rules the heart. It rules the blood. It rules it's the most emotional number. So what happens is when you have like a very high level 33 who is like up there, out there, people will go to war for that person. You can see that with Gary. You can see that with XXXTentacion, who is like an artist, a rap artist that died in 2018. But like his fan base will, if you say anything about X, they'll just destroy you. They'll eviscerate you. They'll attack you. And you see that a lot with like 33s. Thomas Edison is a 33. You'll say like, okay, if you even like if you look back in the day, Thomas Edison is reaching the most popular vote, despite Nikola Tesla, who is a 54, 36, and 9 by the way, who is he being the more influential person technologically, invention wise, blah 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 blah, is having, to be beat out by Thomas Edison, who's actually ruling the hearts of these men, these women. He's captured their heart, where Nikola Tesla is not.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't realize Nikola Tesla was a 36'9". So that makes sense, doesn't it?
he's a 54. Yeah, he's a 54 36.
Ah,
He's
okay.
born July 28th. Not July 28th. He's born June 28th, 1856. But if you look up his birthday, you look up his birthday. Now, this is a contention I've also had to deal with. You look up his birthday, it'll show that he's born July 10th, 1856. But he's not, because he's actually born in Serbia, which was under the use of the Julian calendar at the time. So that is not the Gregorian calendar. And if you look at his birth certificate, it says June 28th, 1856. Now, this is a contention, because a lot of proofs that the numerology community has currently is like, oh, George Washington is the 22, and 22 is the master builder, and George Washington built America. George Washington is actually born on 2/11 on the Julian calendar, because America had not taken the Gregorian calendar yet. So George Washington's life path is actually 2516. He's actually a 2516. So if you look at the first president of the United States, 2516. But like, just Nikola Tesla is a 5436 because he's
Yeah.
born on the Julian calendar.
And it's funny because he says, "Oh, if the world knew the secrets of the
369.
369, they'd have
Yeah.
the code to the secret code to the universe." So,
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense that he was a 36'9".
Well, and check this. So Elon Musk is born 628. What is he? He's born in I think he's born 1970. I don't know. Quote me on that. I know he's born 628. Don't quote me on his year, but I believe he's 19. I believe it. I think, or 1971. I think. I don't know, but I know he's 620. It is 71. I'm doing it in my head right now. He's born 628, and his company is Tesla, which is the same birthday as Nikola Tesla's birthday. So
Mhm.
he's got the same exact birthday. So it's a little bit of a vibration, like a little bit of synchronicity right there. Just quite interesting.
I often feel that the 36'9s are on their last incarnation cycle, as long as they resolve the karma, that's embedded within their name chart, that they can transcend, and I think they're both quite good examples of people that have that potential, I think, which
Yeah.
is super cool. But there's so much to unpack with what you just said there, and I think it's interesting to sort of explore, how these things really do play themselves out. Do you feel that your personal year, if we look at personal year numbers, then do you see those as being a key tool to understanding life cycles? And
Yes.
how do you guide someone through interpreting their personal year?
So I'll take four numbers, like I said. So I'll take your age number. So whatever age you are is a number on its own. And then I will take your first pinnacle added to the current year, so your day and month. And then I'll take your life path added to the current year. And then I will take your mind plane out of the current year. And I will use all four of these numbers to triangulate a position on kind of what is going on. And this is a tricky question to answer, because it's kind of like a very case by case. What birthday are we looking at? But I will typically, I know what's going to happen generally. I know what's going to happen, and I know what I'm very blunt with it. I'll tell you, something bad will happen. This is a malefic number. And I'll often give remedies on like what to do against the malefic number. Like for example, like 48, for example. So all 38s right now, anyone who's got a 38 pinnacle, anyone who has a 38 life path, they're going through a 48 year right now. 48 is a malefic number that crucifies people. It actually usually deletes people's friends. That's what it usually does. It usually separates the individual from anything that is harmful to them. And oftentimes, when a individual will go into a 48 year, they'll have harmful things. They'll have harmful relationships around them. This typically happens to like younger people. Usually, like older people have kind of transcended this, and the 48 acts differently from that. But usually I read younger people. I'm assuming you would too, is mostly people who want guidance. But like when they'll enter the 48 year, they'll start out with things that are very fake. Maybe they'll be working a job they dislike. Maybe they'll be working. They'll have friends that they don't actually like. They're very one sided relationships. They'll have things in their life that are just fake. Maybe they want to become this actor. Or they want to do this, and in reality, it has nothing to do with the actual alignment of who they want to be. And I'll tell them that you will. First, I'll have to like figure out who they are and sense of what they're actually doing, and I'll look at their chart. I'll guide them, and I'll say, okay, like this is actually like you don't actually want to do this. I can see like you don't really want to do this. I can see like, okay, this person here that you're describing, you don't actually want them in your life. They're not very good. And I'll say this year, because of 48, you will lose this person. And if you don't decide to actually take the action yourself, when 48 takes the action, you're not going to like it. It's gonna delete it for you. And it's often best when you do what the number wants you to do without the number doing it for you. And I'll this is like one example of like that number, but I'll prescribe things of that nature, and I'll look at your age, I'll look at your that mind plane number, how that's interacting with the transit. I'll look at all these things, and I can triangulate a position based off of four different things that are going on.
Can you share like an example maybe of a life-changing lesson that you've seen someone experience through their personal year cycle?
I've seen well, I've seen people just completely like I've seen people just quit their job. Like I'll say, okay, hey, like you're going through a 41 year right now. 41 is 41 and 14 will make employment almost unbearable. It makes employment really unbearable. It makes the managers and the authority figures in your life very harsh on you. They won't exonerate any of your successes. They'll just constantly hit your anything that you're doing negatively. People who are 41 years old, 14 years old, blah blah blah, and I'll look and I'll say, okay, like your job and is about to get like very difficult. You're not going to want to work there. And they'll come back to me, and I'll tell them, so you could either quit now because I know you've been feeling it. If they're inside of that year, you don't want to do it. You actually want to go and undergo business. You want to start this business. You want to start doing this. And I'll say you could either quit now and relieve yourself of this job that you don't even want to work, because the job that you were able to withstand last year is suddenly become like an ultimate landscape that is unable to be withstood. And you could start your business, or you could let the number do it for you and get fired potentially, or just have like one of the worst employments of your life. I've convinced people to start businesses that have been successful. I've convinced people to end relationships that are completely harmful. I've convinced people to do lots of things that are just ultimately better for them based off of these personal year numbers, because I know where the harm is going to come from. I know what harm is going to come onto them if they continue on the path, because I can see the path.
Mm.
I've predicted people moving. I've predicted people going and ending relationships. I've predicted people losing lots of money, and I've showed them how to like remove that, to remedy that. 44 is a number that actually makes you lose a lot of money, particularly. So I'll see anyone who's a 34, has a 34 pinnacle, going into a 30 is a third life at 34. They're going into a 44 year, that you guys will lose money this year if you don't take your money out in cash. Anyone, if you can clock it, keep your money in cash, keep it in stocks, or medical bills, hospital bills, car bills will hit you. 44 loves to do that. I've
So, so I'll give you another example. Okay, so I'm moving into well, I'm in a personal year 9 this year, moving into a one next year. I'm 53 years
53.
old,
Cool.
and my pinnacle that I'm moving into at the age of 54 is a 2, and that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. So, but
That's
I'm in a
right.
7 at the moment. I'm in a pinnacle 7.
Try and
So
reverse engineer your 16. And then you're also going into the 26th year. You would have already started it because you're born on the 16th. So you have two eights on top of you. You're turning 53. You already turned 53.
I'm 53. I've just turned 53 in October.
Okay. October 16th. So yeah, then you're also going into a 36 year. You already started it. Um, yeah, you would have started the 36 year because you had a 26 pinnacle.
That's
You
it.
had
So I'm in my
36. So
ninth.
36 also so 36 is a number that will have you like care for older people as well. Like, are your parents still alive? Because you might be caring for your parents this year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
This
the year started with like my mother-in-law. She was over from the UK. She'd been with us for 5 weeks over Christmas. So
yeah.
it was already, it was already there,
Yeah,
right at the
30
beginning.
36 will bring in like the care for elders or just like the responsibility for elders. Like a lot of like people who are 36s in general will grow up like kind of raising their parents. And so like when a 36 transit shows up, and then you also have a an 18. So you would have started getting rid of a bunch of stuff since October. So October 1st is when the personal year is first felt. You would have started getting rid of items, like just deleting items, getting rid of things, saying, oh, I don't want this anymore. This is not helpful to me. This chair is really ugly. I don't like this chair anymore. And you would have just started systematically like removing things because 18 is a number of giving away things. It gets rid of stuff. Especially material things. You would have also, because of 36, uh, you would have children would also come into your life. I don't know if they have yet, but like you would have maybe started speaking and consulting younger people since October, like more like speaking to younger people, consulting younger people, like interviewing people that are younger, like rather than a an older thing. I would say below 30 people are like going to start to like more indicate, and you would have also started gaining more traction with a younger audience in general. 36 will like kind of do these both spectrums of like either like entirely young to you or like older than you, and it'll put you in the middle where people around your age won't really be around you at all. There's like no people of your age will show up when you're 30 when you're in a 36 year. And
Mm.
then you're going into a 26 year based off that 16. So you might have became a little bit anemic, so you might have had something to do with your blood. I don't know if you've been intaking more iron into your diet or you started to become a little bit iron deficient. I don't know if your hands and your feet have started to get more cold easily. I would recommend actually like increasing iron
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your
Because I'm
diet
definitely like I get dizzy when I stand up sometimes. Like
since
it starts going
October
all like
1st.
I
Since
get the
October
twinkly
1st.
stars. That's iron deficiency, isn't it?
Yeah, since October 1st, right?
Oh no, it's been going on for a while, that actually, to be fair.
Oh
But
wait,
I
you have a
just ignore
26
it.
pinnacle. You have a 26 pinnacle anyway. 26 rules iron. The 26 element is iron. It's like that would have kind of been your whole life type of thing.
Yeah, yes, it has been.
Yeah, anemic. So like you're in a 26 year this year, based off that 16, it's 26, 17. I wouldn't be surprised if you start a business partnership as well. If you start going into actual like partnerships with people,
Yeah,
business
that's
wise.
on the cards, I think. There's some stuff coming up.
Yeah, 26 is business relationships. And then 17 will bring back people from the past that you haven't seen in a while. So like you're at a 17 year as well, because 16 reduces to 7, 7 plus 10 is 17. 17 will bring back people from the past. It'll also increase your memory. So you would have started to remember things better since turning not turning since October 1st. Memory would have increased from 17. And then what life path number are you?
And
Well,
I'm a
50
nine, a 27 9.
27. So you'd be 27 reduced. So you'd be a 45 27, keeping the 10 and the 16 in the ordinal cipher. So 45. So you'd be going into a 55 year, a 55 37 year. Yeah, okay, definitely with the children. 37 also make you raw. So like you would have been like last year, you're kind of a very like it might take you a while to act. You might be like it might take you like a long time to act and kind of like overthink things and you don't want to really act immediately. But since October, 37 is a really like action oriented number. It's like a lot of things that you've been procrastinating and not wanting to take action on since October 1st, you would have just been like actually like hitting them and acting and acting and moving and moving. and there would be almost like the fear that you would normally have surrounding these actions has like completely obliterated itself. 37 is a number that doesn't have a lot of fear. That's why like no offense to any 37s out there, but I don't think 37 is necessarily the smartest number. It's I've seen like a lot of like not necessarily the most intelligent people come from 37. But what I have seen is like a very
There you go. You just frozen going like that. So hopefully he'll come back. I can always edit that bit out, don't worry. There you go. Can you see me all right?
you just go straight into it. Because last year, because you're a nine, you would have been systematically clearing out a lot of gunk in your life, and now you finally have enough room to run. You can actually like run now. There's nothing inhibiting you. You're finally able to run. You have good numbers on you for eight, being 53 years old. 53 is going to boost you in all business arrangements, help you with six. Like it's a really good year for business in general. Like if last year was like dedicated kind of like clearing out emotions, a lot of things like that, you would have had a seven on top of you. You would have been very internal, but this year you actually have like a lot of room to run, especially with 55. 55 will help you travel. You might be speaking to people in different countries, speaking to people of different languages or cultures, things of that nature, going to other places. 55 will do that. Um, it'll also make people have competition with you though. 55 will definitely like bring more combatives. I know I'm kind of like running through a lot of things, but like I'm just trying to just actualize like what's going on.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's all good. It's a lot of information, isn't it, that you can get from when you start extracting all these numbers and putting them together and the influence of it. Yeah, because we're in the process of potentially moving country, over the next couple
Okay.
of years. So I think as we move into our one next year, stroke the end of next year, I'm feeling like it would be a really good opportunity for us to take that sort of
Yeah.
next leap, because it's all about the fresh new spring rebirths. Do you see that as well? Do you see that 20 like late 27, 28 is going to be a good time to
For you
make?
to move,
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if you have any 23s. 28, what is it? That's a 12 year. 12. You have a 28 year on the 16. You have a 38 year off that. You'll have a 57 year, so 19. And you'll be 55 years old.
I'll be 55 then, won't I? Yeah.
Yeah, I think 55. Yeah, I think that will help you out with travel in general. You have a good, yeah, 55 will help then, yeah. 55. 57's, 57 doesn't usually travel. I'm looking for 23 will usually indicate travel. Because like I bet if you look at your you should look at your move-in date. Don't tell me that, obviously. Don't put your move-in date out there. But look, if you're planning on moving houses, look for 23. Look for when it goes into a 23 year. Because 55 will help you move. I don't see much movement for you this year, like actually like just leaving your house. But like I mean, you're turning 55 in 2028. If you move anytime, it's then. It might be like maybe towards the October of 2027, like the
Hmm.
actual like tail end, and moving then. But like I wouldn't put it past you to move. But I would look at the house. I would look at your move-in date because if you see a 23, 23 would usually get people out of the house.
Yeah.
23 and 32 always like indicate some type of move.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the 23 carries Mercury, doesn't it? The energy of
Yeah.
Mercury, the five, which is
Yeah.
about freedom. Yeah. And especially, I
Yeah.
suppose, in partnerships as well, because of the two aspects of the 23, which would work quite
Yeah.
well. That's really
What
interesting.
well, it rules foreign land. Like 23 and 32 rule foreign land specifically.
Hmm.
Like they like if you see an individual with a 23 and a 32 in their chart, they'll have like they will be naturally drawn towards individuals who are a different culture from them or a different race from them, or they'll have friends online because 23 rules the internet. The internet is www. W is the
Hmm.
23rd letter. The internet was founded 1/1/1983. That's a life path 23. The two founders of the internet are Bob Kahn and Vint Cerf, who were both born on the 23rd. The internet, not internet, social equals 23, media equals 23, market equals 23. Like a lot of things that have to do with social media. TikTok equals 23. A lot of things that have to do with like social media and the internet and actually being seen and going to foreign countries or foreign land and like being exposed to that will show up when 23 is there, 32 is there. Like
Oh,
even
that's
like the
interesting.
most famous people typically have 23 or 32 in their chart.
Hmm.
Like if you think of like the most famous basketball players are all Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's born on the 23rd. Michael Jordan and LeBron James both wore 23. You can just keep going and like you'll just find like
You
tremendous
know your
amounts of
stuff, don't
examples.
you? You certainly do, Zapray. That's it's brilliant that you know that you can just call it out like that straight away. It's almost like you've got a photographic memory. Do you feel like you've had that since childhood?
Yeah, well, I would honestly I'd call it like anti-photographic. It's honestly I'm seeing more like strings of numbers and words in my head. I feel like if I had images to it, I'd almost like run out of bandwidth. Like I'd like I'd like run out of like ability to do it. I kind of just have the dates and the numbers and the people and the birthdays and like all the things there. Also, it's also like a byproduct of being challenged a lot. I have to have it. I have to have it. Someone's like, no, that's not true. That's what you're saying is wrong. I have to have like a million examples to support my evidence.
For
I've
what
just said it a
purpose do you
bunch of
think?
times.
For what purpose do you have to have those examples there?
Because when I went on X, the because like okay, so Gary GG33 is currently the overarching method of numerology, and his entire form of numerology is actually focused a lot on just providing evidence in those things in these examples. And when I went into the space on X, which is predominantly dominated by people with GG33, I if I say something, if I'm like, yes, like two is the number of reflection because it's me and you in the mirror. It's like this is it's a wonderful like you can understand what I'm saying example, but someone could always be like, no, it's not. Like, no, it's not. And you need to have an example of like some individual constantly devoted to reflection or something in that nature in order to actually sway these people towards your side. And it gets also, it bothered me a lot to, say things that I'm seeing is true when I'm reading people, but is being challenged because they're not able to accept what I'm saying because their first introduction to numerology is a person who says it like that. So I have to adapt myself to be that way in order to get someone to my side on numerology and to get them to where they are able to listen to what I have to say and they're not able to debate me. And honestly, I also like it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun
Yeah, yeah, because it
to
is.
debate.
It's always quite confrontational, isn't it? You know, it's almost like a defense armor that you
Yes.
put on, having enough examples to be able to persuade people that what you're saying is real and is
Yes.
factual. So it's fascinating. If I compare, I know we shouldn't compare, but if I compare how you operate to the way I operate, I'm just like, I think I'm almost so laid back, I'm almost horizontal. Like
Yeah.
if somebody goes to me, oh, well, I don't even believe that. I'll just be like, oh, well. I'll be like, oh,
It
so what?
depends. It's so it's like in a comment section, there's little I can do about it. But if you're in real life and you've said, this is that and this is that, I I feel it's almost my duty if I'm trying to educate people on numerology to show them the truth of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
And that's really important, it is really important. It's because if you're an educator and you want to be taken seriously, then it is important. It's interesting because the way I do I do lives on TikTok, and so I will just do like little basic examples just to get people excited about numerology and just some really quick stuff that's it's almost robotic now with me. It's
yeah,
very and it's supposed to be entertainment, so I suppose that's how I engage people is through like entertainment initially, as well as sort of education. But I know that a lot of the things that I'm saying isn't as deep as you are exploring because I want to keep things like really simple for people because I find that they'll just disengage if there's too
Yeah,
much
for sure.
information. They're like, "Oh my God," it's like this is it's like memory overload. How can I take on everything that he's saying? So I use colors and numbers to be able to sort of like visually show them, what that looks like, just so
Yeah,
something sticks with them.
yeah,
Do
for
you
sure.
find that um, different platforms of social media demand you to be different things to different
Yes.
people? And what do you
Yeah.
prefer?
I prefer the way I am on X than to versus the way I am on TikTok, because on TikTok, I will say this: there's like almost with TikTok, I have to be very simplified in the way I'm operating because I can't just be like, if you're life path 55, this is about you, and never no one is clocking that they're actually at 55. Like most people are not clocking that, but they know they're one. They know they're born on the 10th. They know they're born on the 19th. They know that at least. And I have to be very simplified with how I operate on TikTok. And there is like a beauty to it because it's almost like I'm working with less, so I have to be more creative with how I actually explore the base 1 through 9 vibrations. But I like how I'm on TikTok. I'm not TikTok, on Twitter or X, because I will just hold spaces like very similar to this, except it's it's there's no video, there's nothing like that, and I'll hold spaces, and I can be as utterly advanced as I want because I've built up a very big community on there that has followed me for the past 2 years, that is able to actually conceive what I'm saying. And if they're not, with a Twitter space, what's really cool is you can pop up in my Twitter space and you can request to speak. And if you're like, oh, I've never heard of this numerology stuff, I don't even know what it is. If I get your birthday, I can be as advanced as I want because it's about you. And there's no like filter anymore where I have to be basic with you, because if I'm advanced and I'm telling you like, oh, you're a 24, you require cleanliness. You like absolutely require cleanliness. You just turned 24 years old. About 3 months before you turned 24, you just decided that everything in your house has to be clean right now. And it's like I'm educating you on the fact that 24 is this very clean number and it requires this almost feng shui to what it's operating. And if I'm like doing that on TikTok, I can only hit people who are born on the 24th. People don't even know their life at 24. They don't even know that. Maybe they know they're 24 years old. That's cool. But like I can only hit this one thing. But on Twitter, people on there are a little bit more serious about their numerology education. So they're more willing to actually go into compound numbers because it also becomes a very status symbol. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've honestly changed that space on Twitter from being purely 1 through 9 to compound numerology. People now identify themselves by their compound life path and their day born, their compound, whatever it is, because I've hit that so hard. When I first went in there, everyone was saying, "You're wrong. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Everything you're saying is wrong. This is that, and this is this, and you're wrong." So it like I had to develop this way to actually be taken serious and to just do this, because everyone is, for my entire career as a numerologist since I became public, October 2023, everyone is saying that I was wrong. Everyone was saying I was wrong. So like I like the Twitter space because I've become more advanced on there and I can be more advanced. And the only place I can be very advanced on TikTok is if I'm in a TikTok live, and that's usually when I'm getting the birthdays in there, or I'll bring a speaker up and they can just go like from there. But I can't make videos that are advanced on YouTube. I can, but most of my advanced content that I put like really, really, really advanced is in my own school, like the Z Axis, which is like my school where I have like classes in there and I do it. But I like Twitter the most.
You like
If
Twitter the most.
anything,
It's great that you've got your own academy or your own school as well, which is brilliant. So where do people find that then if they want to learn more about what you're doing?
you could go on. So it's I host it on WAP, so you can look up my WAP on WAP WHOP and just type in the Z axis, or you could go to my TikTok, which is Zapray, or my Twitter, which is Zapray, or Z axis numerology is the handle, and you can just go to the link in my bio, and I have a link tree there with all my stuff to book readings or to join the
Mm.
WAP.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds brilliant. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people wanting to learn more, and it's great that you have opened up the space for compound numbers because I'm massive fan of all of that because I think the more information we
Yes.
can get, the better. Why limit it at just like the singular number? Because, it can go so much deeper. So well done for that. Now, if there was someone who was just beginning their numerology journey, which number do you feel is most influential or insightful for them to explore first?
Probably your life path to the day you're born. Like if like you're trying to soft launch yourself into it, I would definitely just explore your life path to the day you're born. Like that's the easiest, most lucrative route to actually like going where you want to figure out. And then I would, eventually move into your name and your soul's urge, your inner dreams. And I would start out with, the base nine numbers. Don't hop into compounds right away if you can't. But try and figure out the base nine numbers, and if you want to like figure out your own system, you actually want to like develop your own way of operating. Once you understand every number and you look at 23 or 45 and you understand four at a very high level and you understand five at a very high level, you can kind of put two and two together. This is four and five living inside of nine. You could just go from there and move that way. But I would look at your life path, at your mind plan first.
Yeah. So, like in your academy, then, do you teach the basics of numerology as well, or is it quite advanced for
It's just
people?
straight advanced. I mean, there's basics in there, but like like if you join the Z axis, the first thing I'll do for you is I'll build you a chart. I'll build you an entire chart, and the chart will be like about like 50 numbers. It'll be like it'll start from life path, mind plane, the time you're born, because you can actually gain placements from the time you're born as well. And you'll rock that, and then I'll go into your name, your expression, your inner dreams, your soul's urge, your balance number, which is a placement I discovered. It's like where you take all the letters in your name without repeats, and you take that number, and then you take your all pinnacles that you have, all challenges that you have, and every personal year that you're in, and then I'll basically prescribe you videos to watch. I'll say, okay, you should watch this because most people are going to go in there, and it's going to look like this. It's going to look like okay. It's divvied out by sections. There's like 1 through 9. You're gonna have like a class is on 10, a class is on 28, a class is on 37, there's a class on 46, there's a class on 55, blah, 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 whatever, like these compound numbers. And most people are not immediately going to know what numbers they have. So I'll usually typically prescribe them. I'll prescribe you like, okay, watch this, and
Yeah.
this, and this. And they're like very long classes. I put like they're at least 30 to 50 minutes each. It's like it's a lot different from like getting a reading with me because I'll do like a class on 35. It's like 50 minutes long instead of like a reading where I can only cover 35 for maybe like 10, 20 minutes. It's like just 50 minutes of just raw information on like what happens in 35 and just the actual remedies, the pitfalls, the aspects of 35. I go into the mathematics of it as well because one thing that's very important with numbers is the mathematics behind the numbers. Like with 36, for example, like not 36, 27, for example, your life path. 27 is the most creatively endowed nine. It's the most creatively endowed nine. And it happens to be is 3 times 3 times 3. It's the third cube. So it's a very creatively endowed nine. Like you look at like very creators who are like off the chains, like very unique, have 27. Kurt Cobain's a 27, Jimi Hendrix a 27, Stan 27, Travis Scott is a 27. Custom Auto Mike Tyson's trainer has one of the most uniquely creative boxing training abilities, regimens, and he's a 27. 27 is like a very uniquely creative nine. So like the mathematics are very important. And then 27 also has an allocate sum. An allocate sum is when you take the factors of a number and you add them up to a single digit. So like 27, the allocate sum of 27 is 13. So if you take the summation of 27, which is 9, 3, and 1, these are the factors, they add up to 13. So 27 is also rocking 13 underneath it. And then it unfolds this like very like interesting picture and amazing thing about it. Like 16 is the fourth square, 4 times 4. It's also got an allocate sum of 12. Um, so it's I don't know, it becomes like um amazingly interesting
It
when you
does.
look
It
into
does
it
become
all.
interesting when you really start
So
looking.
I mean, I go into all that.
Yeah, that's great. It's wonderful that you can look at the mathematics behind it all, and because, the two subjects are intimately intertwined. You can't disconnect them. So a lot of people
Yeah.
say, "Oh, well, I like numerology, but I was rubbish at maths at school." Well, you're like, well, it's almost like part and parcel of the same thing. You can, you can sort of bring the two together and just take it to the next level, which is wonderful because it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing with the courses that you're doing in your advanced numerology courses. So, I would
Yeah.
thoroughly recommend anybody who's watching this video who likes the pace of Zapray and how much wisdom that he's sharing to connect with him and start, taking their own wisdom to into the new millennium. But
Yeah.
finally, what's one profound truth about numerology that you wish everyone understood, but often gets overlooked?
Mm. Besides the compound numbers, I feel like that's a very big one. Master numbers and such. I think one I'll say this. One thing that comes when you have divination and you have a form of future telling or a form of, understanding yourself. I think it's very important that you take time to live. I don't even think it's necessarily so much about numerology and the aspect of numerology, but a lot of people come into this space who are lost and don't have an identity, and they will use this form of divination to subscribe themselves to identity, and they will use the angel numbers, they will use the indications that they receive outside to, whether or not they should do something. They will use, I am for, this is the way I am, and there's nothing I can do about it. And a lot of people will use these definitions that are given to them, and they will refuse to live. And I think one thing about numerology that's really important, divination system, whether it's astrology, numerology, any divination system, is to unplug yourself every so often so that you can actually live. Because as I'm sure you as a numerologist, I as a numerologist, people are asking like, it must be so hard being able to see everything and know everything. I really don't know as much about my own life as you might think because I try my best to live. There's times like where I could just throw myself into an absolute psychosis of just looking at information and numbers, but I try to separate myself and unplug myself as much as I can, where I'm simultaneously using a system that's meant to assist me and help me and not make it everything.
Mhm. That's really good advice. I think otherwise, you're in danger of disempowering the soul,
Yes.
and just following protocol of what you think that you're supposed to be, which often evolves into that, irrespective of whether you're thinking about it or
Yes.
not. Which, yeah, that's really good advice. And it's great to have information, but then it's up to you what you do with it, and you can choose to embody it and educate with it. But then at some point, you've got to almost like disassociate or disconnect from that as well. It's like the Buddhists say that the key to enlightenment is through detachment. And I suppose that includes information as well.
Yes.
Great, wonderful. Well, Zapray, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insights and your really obvious passion for numerology with us today. From house numbers to personal years and exploring, different life path numbers and all the stuff you know about, celebrities and influential people. Your perspective has been really illuminating. So, for everyone listening today, if today's conversation has sparked your curiosity, I highly recommend exploring Zapray's numbers. And so I'll put a link in the description below where people can contact you and get in contact. And thanks again for joining me on the Numerology Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow if you haven't already done so, then you'll never miss an episode of the Numerology Show. Until next time, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye for now, Zapray. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Awesome.